Hey everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode of the Bumpy Road Show. I'm Bump, and I'm here with some bumpers. Now, this shirt isn't the only new thing to this show, as I got a brand new microphone to be doing my voiceovers with, so I'm excited to share that with you guys and hopefully provide a better content experience. But in this episode, we cover the removal of my driver's seat after the fire, and we recondition it and actually repair it in the video as well, so we're going to take you through that process as we did it. Hi, I'm Colin. I'm 16 years old, and I just got a new microphone. And for the long-awaited guessing game winner from last episode, I want to congratulate PJ here for successfully being the first one to guess it correctly and, well, first. So just because you missed out the last time does not mean the next episode will not yield the same opportunity. And without further ado, let's move on. Now, the first step in our process was to actually remove the seat itself to be able to condition it, and I have a manual page here that shows exactly how we did it on my car. Step 1 says to slide the seat right back and remove the 2 socket head screws securing the seat and adjusting the mechanism. And after you disconnect the electric cables, we move on to part 2, which says to slide the seat back to the limit of its travel, thereby releasing the front catch. Step B says to tip the seat back, and step C says to lift the seat upwards and forwards. This allows us to remove the seat from its rails, and it's important to mention that there's a nifty little diagram on the top right of this page that shows these A, B, and C steps. And the passenger seats simply go as follows. First, you need to slide the seat back, disconnect cables, remove the screws securing the seat to the frame, and undo and remove the nuts securing the rails to the height adjusting mechanism, and from there, you're good to go. Well, after we removed my driver's seat, we noticed that the fire had left its signature, so we needed to get directly into the dirty work of removing the soot and grime from this seat. And it's going to need a little touch up too, but don't worry, we're going to show you our process.
Colin's had to call in some professional help. The car caught on fire, and this is the dashboard. When the water hit it, it was hot and it splattered on the seats, and so it stuck to the seats in a tarry, nasty goo. So I'm using acetone and just wetting it with acetone and using this plastic scraper to scrape the little pieces away. And slowly, those little black spots are coming off, and it's leaving the seat like brand new. So we just have this process of cleaning and scraping and cleaning and scraping. And this is kind of like a fingernail. It's very good for not scratching, but still getting underneath this residue and getting it up. We just have this constant process of cleaning it up and getting that off. So it's ugly, it's not fun, but this is working. And I can walk over here and show you the seat bottom. This is the bottom of the seat after it's been cleaned. It's had some wear, it had some cracks in it, nothing that was bad enough to be filled. And we'll show you later how to fill and how to clean this and prep it. We'll come back and re-dye that, and that'll be like a brand new seat.
Now, it's important to note right here that we're not aggressively sanding down this seat. We don't want to wear the leather more than it already has, and we're just simply trying to clear any gunk or dirt that's on the surface of the seat so that the leather honey that we will apply in the future can soak in, and the repair that we are about to make will adhere properly.
That it has better adhesion. Now, we've already cleaned and scrubbed the surface, okay? And because the wear is on this side of the seat, we're going to put this seat on the passenger side and the other seat, which has wear on this side, on the driver's side, so that they're on the inside of the car. And so I'm just going to use that and scrape that off to where it's flush. And we're just going to try to get that.
I just wanted to make a quick mention of this Angelus solution here, and it actually worked like a charm for us. It smoothed over really nicely once we got the leather honey on there, and I couldn't really even notice that there were any tears whatsoever on my seat. So for beginners, it was a wonderful and easy solution. And finally, for the last portion of this video, we go over the conditioning of my seat and how exactly we did it with little to no experience on leather working and upholstery.
So to condition the leather, I've experimented with a lot of different products. My favorite for smell and test over time is Lexol for conditioner, and I use on my personal car Biazzo Lexol. But when leather is in dire condition and really hard like cardboard, I've been testing leather honey. You can get it on Amazon. It's about $20 for this bottle. It's I don't know, just a few ounces. It's not very much. And so we apply that, and it takes leather that's like cardboard and seemingly restores it. For the last year we've had some experience, so I will generally put just a little bit onto the seat itself, and I will then take my hand, and using my raw hand, I'll start massaging that in just like you would put cream on your skin. And I find that the fingers do a better job of applying than using a applicator or a rag or a towel or something like that. It really allows you to rub in the oil and massage that. So you just apply. I usually put just a couple drops directly onto the seat, and I start massaging that in just like you would put sunscreen or some other cream on your skin. And the more you massage that in, the better it seems to work. So we just apply it and start spreading out. I start in a small area and start working my way out. And then when I need a little more, I'll either put a little on my hands like this and rub that into a certain area and spread that out, and or put a little on the seat like that and spread it out that way. And we want to just slowly coat the seat. So we'll allow this to soak, and we'll leave it overnight, and then we'll come back to it in the morning. We stop applying this when it stays wet and shiny like this over here. So when you see this area right here, how wet and shiny it is, that's when you stop applying it. So when you come back the next day and it looks like that, it means that it's absorbed all this leather honey into the seat itself. If it's dry or more matte like this over here, then you'll want to put more in there, and you keep putting it in until it's shiny and stops absorbing it. Then I come back with a terry cloth towel, and I'll buff it off. But that'll take this leather, which is pretty much like cardboard. You can see over here, this seat has cracked and broken, rendering the seat cover in pretty bad shape. But it's thick. It's like cardboard. I mean, you can bend it. So this after a couple of applications of leather honey will start to become soft and supple. You can also see the trim here, the piping. Because the seat has dried out, it's tugged on this piping and bent the piping and caused the piping to start drawing in. So it's another sign that your seats are in need of some loving care. I would recommend once every several years putting leather honey on it, unless you are lucky enough to have new leather like I do, in which case I just regularly, about once every 2 months, I will do the same thing with the same process with my hands, applying Lexol, and then I come back after the next day after it's dry and buff it off with a terry cloth rag. And that's pretty much the procedure for applying leather honey. I highly recommend it. Everything that we've done with it so far, it's shown tremendous results, and we've been very, very pleased with what we see. Okay, so we're back on the seat segment and the leather restoration. It's been a couple of days, and you can see here where we put the leather honey on that parts of this are dry and parts of it, like up here, are really moist. And this is a lot more supple than this is down here. You can even hear the difference in the sound of the leather. So this is more loud, sounds like sandpaper, and this is more muted and feels soft and supple. So some of that's soaked in, some of it hadn't, but you can see the difference in that right there and this over here as to how shiny that is comparatively. So that gives you some perspective. Now, we're going to dye this section right here in the middle so you can see how this is dyed. So now we're going to dye this in here, and I'll include this little cracked areas which I haven't filled, but it'll help show you. So I'm going to start with 600 grit sandpaper, and I'm going to just sand this in a crosshatch space like this to get all the burrs and knock all the crap off of that. You can see it's picking up some of the yuck, and it just gives it a nice start that it's roughly clean when that happens. So it will allow the dye to adhere better. So next, we get this at Dollar General. It's called Awesome. It's a fantastic degreaser and cleaner. So I'm gonna just spray that on here. And I'm gonna do that exactly like I did the leather honey. I'm gonna rub it in here and get that all cleaned up. And we just wanna rub it in, and then I'll come back with a paper towel. And you can see the gray and crap on the paper towel and hands. Wanna get all that dirt off so that we can clean that and leave that as nearly virgin, uncoated, ungreased leather. And I'm gonna do one more coat just to be sure. So do that. And then scrub, 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 scrub. And then we'll come back with a dry towel. So we're just going to gently spray this SEM on top. And you want to spray in a crosshatch pattern so we get it on both ways. And then we stop. And you're going to let it dry for a bit. And so we'll fast forward. So then I'm going to put one more application on, and again, we just want light mistings coming on this. And I'm doing it from different directions just to make sure that everything fills up. And then I'll come over here and do it that way one more time. And you can see, if you look right here, there was exposed leather here. These cracks were exposed. The cracks are still there. We didn't fill them, but they're not brown anymore. So, and you can look right here, and you can see, I'll spray this area right here. You can see the brown in that, and you can see that just a dusting like that covers that brown up. So it works very, very nicely. And I can hit it again, and that will just virtually disappear.
Now, with the return of the guessing game winner, there has to be a brand new guessing game at this episode so that a new winner may emerge. And I'm curious to see, given this hint, if you guys can figure out what the next episode is going to be about. But given my general audience, I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue for you guys. So I'm excited to see what you guys answer with. And of course, the winner of the guessing game will be announced at the beginning of the next episode. Happy hunting.